Hey everybody, it's Paul with Washington Pro Carpet Cleaning. Gonna try out the simple end cap today. This is the economy version. Mixes 4 to 6 ounces per gallon on the lightly soiled. And then on a couple of the lower levels, I'm gonna use the awesome end cap. A little more concentrated, 2 to 4 ounces per gallon on the lightly soiled. And I've got a couple of containers that I'm going to fill up so I don't have to keep coming back into this vacant room to do the filling. But today we have a big job. We're doing about 11,000 square foot of hallways. We got some 7, I believe, area rugs. They're wool viscose, so got to be really careful. And we've got a tech room, a gym, a entertainment room, which they call the cave.
Yeah, ring that out.
And I'll show you all that as we go along. I got my lovely wife, Lisa, helping me today. And these are the new I believe they're Zinger pads. I'll put a link in the description. I think Damon's got them on sale at the end cap store now that the prototypes are done. But they're microfiber with scrubbing strips, and look at that. I definitely am going to have to order me a case of these. Look at the contrast. They glide smoothly over this etched carpet. It's they're almost like tile or carpet squares, I think. Hard to tell, but anyway, you can see my wife's pre-spraying all the areas for me. And then what I'm doing, it's a lived-in unit, so I have to wear a mask. But what I decided to do, I started out with my Eco 14 Lite Pro, and until I can figure out cord management, me and my wife are just tripping over each other. Because with wheels down, you have to go all like mowing the grass. Didn't work, so I pulled out the 175. And you can see we plug 100 foot of cord in, and it is a 12 gauge. It's actually 50 foot 12 gauge extension, and then this has its own 50 foot cord. But I can walk forward, and I don't have any problems with cord management. And then once I get to where I'm in a position where the cord's bottomed out, it's all the way stretched out, we just move the cord up to the next closest plug, like that one up there on the right of the screen. And since I don't have the tank on here, I probably will put the tank on this machine now that I'm going to use it for more commercial work like this. It has a gravity-fed tank. I wouldn't have had to pre-spray, just maybe spot. But in this particular case, I had my wife, Lisa, going in front of me, pre-spraying all the areas, and as she got down to the end of the hallway, I just kept her coming. And it was coming out beautiful. I mean, they were not in that bad a condition, but I could see the soil transfer. And the first couple floors we did the simple end cap, and I'll say it worked pretty good. And I've never used the product before, but yeah, it lift up all the dirt. There were a couple areas I did have to use a spotter on. And then on the lower levels, this is the gym. The lower levels, I use the awesome end cap. And I think being a little more concentrated, I'm not sure if maybe my wife mixed it heavier or what, but it seemed to require less spotting. It just picked everything up itself. And these carpets in here, these are definitely carpet squares, but they have some type of a rubber blend in them. You can see we got mirrors all around us. Got my wife back there with me, the 175. Got the Zinger pad on there, the red and white microfiber. But cleaned up beautiful. Moving back out into the hallways, you can see I got my cord ran all the way down the hallway. Here's the machine, and I'm heading that direction. I think my wife's bringing the cord up to a closer plug. Some of these hallways were 700 plus feet all the way around, all the way down to the end, and then either 5 foot or 6 foot wide. Look at these. I'm telling you, if you're doing commercial work, these zinger pads, oh my gosh. And there is a difference. Somebody asked me what's the difference between the blue and gray pads. It's got a thicker pad in it, and I think the way it's looped, you'll have to talk to Damon at the end cap store. And these are the new polar pads, the all white pads. They're very similar to the zinger, but without the scrubbing strips. So probably residential carpet or delicate stuff. You'll see me use the polar pads when I'm doing the viscose. It's 60% wool, 40% viscose area rugs that this unit has throughout. And if you've watched my prior videos, the viscose is basically made of shredded bamboo. It's almost like a paper. So it's really delicate and very dangerous to clean. I don't recommend anyone touch viscose, but anyway, you can look it up, Google viscose area rugs, and you'll see there's a lot of people won't touch them. Here we got some spotting. I don't know if the camera will zoom in and show you. But anyway, the polar pad, here it is. You can see it also picked up a ton of soil. Crazy, right? And the beautiful thing about this new design, it doesn't penetrate all the way through. So it's picking up soil, and then it's thick enough you can flip it over and use both sides, which I really loved about this pad, being able to use them. You can see the contrast in the color. I'm folding it in half. I mean, you couldn't tell these carpets were that dirty, but boy, I'll tell you, definitely dirty. And here I'm getting ready to come up this direction, and I've decided to send my wife out to get a handful of the Ironman pads. And I just decided, since we're using the new zinger pads, and I only had a few, I only own 3 of them for the bigger machine until I order some. And the polar pads, I only had 3 of those until I order more. And I thought I wanted to send my wife out to the van, and I wanted her to get the Ironman pads so that we could try those out, and I'll show you the contrast on those. So far, I mean, I haven't found anything I don't like. The simple end cap is like I said, encapsulation cleaning solution. Requires, a higher dilution or higher amount of the product out of the gallon per gallon of water. Here comes the Ironman pads, some spotter, and a snack. But anyway, the simple end cap, if you're on a budget, I think it's a lot cheaper. And there is the Ironman. Let's get going. Look at that. You gotta love. I mean, if everyone asks me which do you prefer, I do like the zingers. Those are pretty awesome. But I gotta tell you, I mean, look at those things. But the Ironman is just, if it's not too hard to run it over, sometimes the Ironman can be too aggressive and you can feel the machine. So you want to use microfiber. So it's good to have a mix in your arsenal. And all 3 of these are great. People always ask me, but I always say my go-to stuff, if I had to, would be, I can't be without Ironman pads. I cannot be without the Dragon products. That is Dragon Fire and Green Dragon. As long as I have those 2 on my truck and some odor death, CLO2, I'm happy. This is what they call the cave. Got the pool table in there. It's basically an entertainment room. And then here's your viscose rugs, 60% wool, 40% viscose. And you can see I'm going to use the not the Iron Man. I'm going to switch over to the Polar Pad, and it's a lot more gentle and safe for this type of fabric. You got another big one over there to do, and quite a few more down here on this lower level. But yeah, all the products I use, everything, and I'm not an affiliate. People ask me, when you make videos, look at that. You'll get weird shading on the viscose. You know, the thing you don't want to do is overkill these things, because they can lose their shape, they can fall apart. Just look up viscose area rugs, you'll see what I mean. But anyway, I'm very happy with the end cap store in Damon Williams. My equipment, custom made, and all my chemicals and all my needs, all the pads. He's very innovative and always looking for new stuff. And we'll call and say, hey, try this out. This is a new prototype. Let me know what you think. And then they tweak things. So it's awesome to have a partner in business who can help my job be easier and have the right products for every different angle here. So there you go. Total square footage overall, I think it was 12,000 square foot. So it was a fantastic day. Appreciate you joining me for this episode.